Oh shit. Oh boy. Oh boy. Trump promises a 25% tariff on all products coming in from Canada and Mexico, both of his neighbors. And he took to Truth Social, the real DJ Trump. As everyone is aware, thousands of people are pouring through Mexico and Canada, bringing crime and drugs at levels never seen before. Right now, a caravan coming from Mexico, composed of thousands of people, seems to be unstoppable in its quest to come through our currently open border. On January 20th, as one of my many executive orders, I will sign all necessary documents to charge Mexico and Canada 25% tariff on all products. Oh, geez. Coming into the United States. And its ridiculous open borders. This tariff will remain in effect until such times as drugs, in particular fentanyl, and all illegal aliens stop this invasion of our country. So they don't want Mexicans coming in, and they don't want fentanyl coming in. Both Mexico and Canada have the absolute right and power. What I mean by that, like, they obviously don't mind Canadians coming in, but I'm guessing they're thinking that Canada isn't doing enough to protect their border. So illegal aliens are going in through Canada to get to the States. Both Mexico and Canada have the absolute right and power to easily solve this long simmering problem. We hereby demand that they use this power, and until such time that they do, it is time for them to pay a very big price. Oh boy. Oh boy. A very big price. 25% on all products. That's huge. Between raw materials and finished goods and services rendered, 25% is huge. And most experts are saying that that cost is coming on to people like, you guessed it, me and you. So I'm going to just quickly go through a small case study on a industry that I've worked on, and we'll see how this is going to affect pricing. So I used to work for an audiologist, making and selling hearing aids. Right? I used to do that. I guess I used to repair them, talk to the clients, blah, blah, blah. And okay, so this all starts off in the office, the doctor's office. Your granny or your grandpa's coming in and they're hard of hearing. They get an audiologist to check them out, and they're measured for hearing aids. That measurement is an audiogram, and it's like a chart, right? It's like a chart that says, oh, yeah, you got sensory neural hearing loss on the left side, for example, right? So that prescription, right? That prescription is made in Canada, right? Or in America. And what happens next? So obviously Grandpa goes home. He's saying the wait time for him to get his hearing aids, maybe like, a few weeks. They'll call him. So let's just draw a quick map. It's going to be really bad, but doesn't really matter, right? So broken into 3 quadrants. We got Canada. We got the US of the A. And then we got Mexico. All right, so 25% tariff on all goods coming in. Well, I'm assuming Trump's a smart guy, right? He's going to know for certain that there's probably going to be some reciprocation there, but I'm guessing he's willing to eat that cost, at least for now. I'm not sure what his motivation behind that is. I guess he just doesn't want illegal aliens to come through, or he really, really cares about fentanyl. But does he care that much that he's willing to, lose billions and trillions of dollars? Maybe. Who knows? But let's continue this example. So hearing aids, they're made up in Canada, right? So that's our starting point. X is the starting point. That's where Grandpa lives. He got his prescription there. So what happens then? Then we got our pals over here, all the way across the world, a huge peanut called China, Trump's favorite. So the hearing aid prescription is starting in Canada, right? And then we go boop, 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 boop. And that prescription is then sent over to China. And in China, they'll do modeling. It's all done on the computer software. They'll do touch-ups and refinements. This is not the actual manufacturing. That's going to come later. This is all the digital prospecting of that prescription, just to make sure all of the scaling is done right. Everything fits in the device when it is manufactured. That information is then sent over to Mexico, right? Where they got a ton of people. And they don't cost very much if you in terms of, you compare it to like an American worker or a Canadian worker, they're going to cost a lot less. And, they got factories in place to develop these things and a whole lot of other things as well. So China then sends that model to Mexico, where Mexico then manufactures that product, and that product is then shipped back up across the border. They truck it back up into Canada, back to Grandpa, back to the hearing aid facility, aka the office, so that Grandpa can wear his hearing aids. So that prescription started off in Canada. It was sent over to China. Then it was from China. That data is then sent over to Mexico. And Mexico actually manufactures that product. That finished product, right? That finished product is then trucked up across the border. It's trucked up across the border from Mexico into the United States, then crosses over into Canada and given to Grandpa. Now imagine this 25% tax tariff, or this tariff. That could have been like X2. That could have been like 50% at that point, the amount of borders that we just crossed. But I guess what that hearing aid case study is what I'm trying to say there is that this is a whole other video, but that it's a scam, really. These huge hearing aid manufacturers that are exporting all of the work to other countries like China and Mexico, while at the same time they're benefiting from, say, Canadian, American, and Mexican, I'm not sure about Mexican, but Canadian and American kind of legislation behind, tax benefits, cost-saving programs for hearing aids, because it's hearing aid technology, it's a health thing. So they have all of these benefits. So they still have all of these benefits, but they're exporting all of the work. So that work isn't in Canada per se. And it really kind of puts into question why the hell these devices are so expensive. Because they really are. I know how much they cost, and maybe you do too. We're heading into a hearing aid pandemic soon because of the baby boomers aging. And yet 80% or so of people that need hearing devices don't even wear them or get them because simply they're just too expensive, right? That's the major reason why most people don't get hearing aids. So that's a whole other concept. That's a whole other video. But what I'm trying to get to here is that there are a lot of things at place here. And this hearing aid example is just literally one example. But this tariff is going to be nuts. Like, imagine how much that's going to increase the cost of something like a hearing aid. Now, change the word hearing aid to like potato, or like oil, or like lumber. It's going to be exceptional. And they're saying that these costs are coming on to the consumers. Well, I mean, the cost of living is already its crisis of itself. Can people really afford like an additional 25%? And people don't realize that 25% is compounded on, it's not just finished goods, it's raw materials as well. So materials like mayonnaise, so that means your McDonald's sandwich is going to be more too. What about like your coffee beans? That means your coffee is going to be more as well. So let me know what you guys think with this Trump tariff thing. Let me know what you think about this hearing aid example, this case study. This is like kind of like a new methodology on how I want to try to explain things. But before I go, I wanted to look at one other thing, which was Doug Ford talking about this.
We received the biggest threat we've ever received from our closest friends and ally, from President-elect Trump, that they're threatening to put a 25% tariff on all goods coming across the border into the U.S. and Mexico. What I found unfair about the comments is to compare us to Mexico. And I can tell you, Canada is no Mexico.
Holy shit, that sounds kind of racist, Doug.
We do approximately, just Ontario alone, $500 billion of two-way trade. I found his comments unfair. I found them insulting. It's like a family member stabbing you right in the heart. I spent a lot of time in the U.S., and I have yet to talk to one American that has any issue with Canadians. We see drugs flow from Mexico, coming up through California, in through BC, into Alberta, into Ontario, and what we need to do is take that threat seriously. I had a conversation with the Prime Minister.
Wow, so basically he's saying, right? This guy's saying that the drugs aren't even coming through Canada, it's coming through Mexico up into America and then up from there into Canada. So he's denying the fact that people are coming and smuggling through Canada into America, which is kind of really shocking. I didn't really think that he would take that stance. Him being insulted by being associated with Mexicans is kind of hilarious. You take that as you will. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just end there on the general sentiment on how Canadians, I guess, are feeling about this America thing. Let me know what you guys think. Take it easy, boys.